We're not doing this alone. And we have about 22 U.S. cities, Chicago, New York, Denver, Seattle, Austin, and Boston, Philadelphia, Madison, Wisconsin, and on, who are participating with us. It's a real phenomenon in that it started in Paris over 30 years ago as the Fête de la Musique. If you are in Paris on June 21st, well, it's a national holiday in France and in some other countries too. And the streets just become filled with people, musicians. They just know automatically to come outside and play. Kind of like us with the 4th of July and fireworks that start a couple of days in advance. The music begins and it's just amazing. So we've been having a wonderful time in producing it here and would like to invite Glendale and all of the people in the community of Glendale to celebrate, make music. And did you have an opportunity to see any of this or get an idea of what we look like? Is that what this is? Oh, great. I'm not very good at this. Let's see. How does this work? Okay. Well, that's the board members. We were at City Hall one afternoon. We received a proclamation. This was back in June. And so we took a photograph. We're really just a group of ordinary citizens. All this about the creative economy, I think all of you here are aware of all of this, so I don't need to go through any of that with you. But being proactive and working within the community and with everyone in the community is something that Make Music does. Having special programs and various events sometimes don't include everyone, but Make Music Day actually does. And places like, well, the Americana brand did celebrate Make Music, not this past year, but the year before. And I think this year they would have, however, it was Father's Day, and I think there was maybe a little bit of not realizing that, well, you could really do both, because there were places that actually did. Santa Monica has 7 parks, and they're, what is it? The mall, the big mall there, Santa Monica Place, celebrated Make Music. And outdoor plazas, such as the one that you see here that's in Glendale, also can have events to celebrate Make Music. Businesses, the libraries, schools, colleges, it's for everyone, and particularly with businesses, being able to partner with the neighborhoods makes it something very special. And how it works is that musicians, the artists, sign up on the Make Music LA website. There's no charges for anything, for anybody. This is all free, and all the concerts are free for the public. But what they do is they sign up on our site, and they just say what they do, what they play, their instruments, photographs, Facebook page, and whatever they want to show about what they do. And at the same time, the business will sign up and say, we'd like to have this type of music. And it's for all genres of music. So they get together, and that's how it works on the site. We also have a mapping system, so that if you look at our map, you'll be able to see. All of this is just really about being involved with it. We are with community members and with the council offices and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. They're actually, this is difficult. I'm like tongue-tied, so you have to excuse me. They are in support of what we do, of course, because it's all about music, and you can't have a motion picture or television without music. So we supported the new museum that's going up on Wilshire and Fairfax. That's it right there. Mass appeal events, so just talk a little bit more about what some of the kinds of things that we do. These events are where it's one single instrument, and the public is invited to participate in this. So what we do is we will put up the music on the website. Any musician who would like to be a part of the mass appeal goes to our website, they sign up, say they want to do it, they get the music, and they practice it, and then on the day of the event, they all meet at the designated place, whether it's a park, plaza, and then they play. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's just wonderful. So this year we had ukuleles, we had saxophones, and we had harmonica. And with the harmonicas, we actually give away harmonicas. We have a partnership with the NAMM Foundation, and their members, who are the music manufacturers, support us. And so they give us 100 little harmonicas, and Tom Nolan there teaches everyone how to play it, and of course they then go home with their harmonica. So, and this is Santa Monica, which is the ukulele event. And there's Tom, you see some little ones there with their harmonicas, and they're with the band playing. So it's all-inclusive, so everyone has a chance to participate and enjoy this. And most of the concerts are outdoors, but as you can see here at the library, they're indoors. This is Beverly Hills, and it is the Beverly Cannon Gardens, and this was really a lovely event. A couple was getting married, and they decided they wanted to come out and participate, so they asked the musicians to play a song for them, and they danced. So this just shows you, this is a mom and daughter playing, and this is Santa Monica again, and more people playing harmonicas. So it's just great fun. Musicians, whether they're students, amateurs, or professionals, have an opportunity to play. This is just open for everyone. Do you have any questions you might want to ask me?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Just for clarification, so the mass appeal program, is that different than what happens on the annual day, or does that happen on the annual day?
It happens on the day.
Okay, so are there two ways of participating? There's that coordinated piece where you've got the music that people learn and they go back and play, and then are there also then business or city other sponsors where they make space available for artists to come and play, or is it all through?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Uh-huh.
There's no one thing or another. You can do whatever you want. It's left up to your creativity and to the people who are participating to decide what they want to do.
And then through your organization, from an infrastructure standpoint, in trying to coordinate, is it June 22nd? Did I catch
21st.
21st. So from a coordination aspect, you've got the website where artists can sign up, and then is there other support that you all provide with participating cities or businesses or others around the county that want to participate?
Like what type of support?
Well, I mean, in terms of like marketing of this event, in terms of coordination, if people had questions about like best practices of how to make a park available, knowing that people can meet, but if they might have to have permits, there's probably processes that all cities have to go through that are pretty similar. So I'm wondering if there's like a resource packet or things that you can share to help make things more expedited at the city level if folks wanted to entertain that.
We do. What we try to do, for example, is on our website, we do have a guide. And we're actually in the process of redoing some of the things that are there. But we have an organizer's handbook. And that handbook outlines step by step by step. But Glendale may have a different permitting system than LA does.
Sure.
So in partnering, we would want to know what those things were so that we could add them to the website. And at the same time, we do have coordinators on our side that can go out and can work with the communities and helping them to do it. We don't just say, okay, just do this. There is a beginning, middle, and end.
I appreciate that because it's an intriguing idea. In particular, I like things that are partnership based and that are regionally based. I think you get a lot more impact, you get a lot more awareness. But I know as a city body, the more information we have about what the impact is, since we have plans and we have budgets that are all set, and so just having the more information that we have about how we might participate if we wanted to is super helpful, or if businesses or other entities within the city were interested in participating on their own.
Well, that's what we like, is the idea of collaboration and people talking to one another about making this happen. And we have, as I said, there are like 22 other cities that do this. At the same time, our Make Music Day website has everything there that you actually can download that can show you how to do everything. You could go to that right now, and it's there. My site is being redone, as I said, but Make Music Day does have everything, a step-by-step on exactly what to do. Also, we are coordinating a workshop for the Congress of Neighborhoods next week. And as a part of that workshop, we will be talking about Make Music and on how people can get involved. Because the neighborhood councils, that's, any neighborhood organization, this is just a lovely event to have.
Sure.
And the libraries participate. They love having music. And
neighborhoods is a great idea. We have a lot of neighborhood associations in our community that would probably be interested in that information. What was one more question? What was the website again?
Our website, or the one to get all the other information?
Any you want to give us?
Sure, I'll give you both of them. MakeMusicDay.org, and our site is MakeMusicLA.org. And you might also want to take a look at New York. The reason I say that is because New York is our leader, as we say, and they do over 1,300 concerts in a day. All 5 boroughs of Manhattan participate, and it's extraordinary. When you see all the people that come out for this event, and they've been doing it now for 10 years, so you can see how the growth and where you could be in 10 years. It's just wonderful. There's another component to this as well, and that is the giving back. And in some cases, we have instruments that come in for a particular event, and then they'll be given to a school or to an institution for their use, going forward. We like to really teach and to share all of this. So being able to have teachers being able to go into areas where there's very little culture, we want to do that. So, and we do that.
Thank you for your presentation. This is a unique program. I haven't really heard something like this before, but could you give me an example how those different cities are organizing through Art and Culture Commission or Music Commission, number one, and if there were any individuals or organizations helping you to do so? And my final question, was there any way to connect all the cities at the same time with live TV or some type of media?
Streaming?
Yeah.
Yes, it has happened. And it's pretty extraordinary. We've had Germany communicate with New York, and they'll do something live together. We haven't done it yet, but we've discussed it. Absolutely. And how this all happens is you get someone who is very passionate about it. I'd be talking about myself. Because how I got started in even doing this was I was at work one day, and I happened to be going through the New York Times. And I came across a photograph that had some pictures of boats in Central Park Lake, and there were musicians in the boats. I thought, gee, this is really kind of cool. And I went on reading, jumped online to Make Music New York, and just stopped right in my tracks because I had never seen anything like it. I made a phone call to Aaron Friedman, who's president of Make Music New York, and asked him, hey, is this going on here? Because this is the entertainment capital of the world. We need to do this. And he said, no, it's not really happening in LA, but it is happening in Pasadena. There is Make Music Pasadena. Long story short, I called the girls, had a conversation. I said, are you going to be doing Make Music LA? They laughed. And I said, well, I think I'd like to do it. And I didn't just think about doing that. I have a trade show and special event background, and I'm kind of semi-retired. So I have certain skills that it takes to do this. At the same time, there are different types of organizations that produce this. It just really depends on the city. In Chicago, it's Rush Hour Concerts that actually produces Chicago Make Music. So they were already an established and formidable organization of classical musicians. And in our case, we are just a group of people who have a passion for music and the arts and believe that everyone should have the opportunity to be exposed to music. So it varies. However, there is always help from us. Make Music LA is a member of the Make Music Alliance, and that is all of the organized cities. We have an organization, and we get together once a year to discuss what we're doing in all the cities. But there is always help there to be of assistance, whether it's coming from New York or it would come directly from us here in LA. So you wouldn't be like...
Well, I would like to applaud the effort and the achievements you have made so far, your organization has done. I have a little question. This is fantastic. It's just, and the fact that you're starting and using and including youngsters and kids, it's major. Well, they are the ones who are the future, so that's great. But how do your staff work? Are they volunteers who come into it? How do you get, because there needs to be a lot of coordination, a lot of accommodations and arrangements made. So this is done by a group of volunteers, or are they
We're
paid?
all volunteers.
Volunteers.
Yeah, we are all volunteers. But what happens is in the communities, you already have certain people who are very active and who are volunteers. And that's the core of what's needed to make this happen. It doesn't have to be big. It can be very small. You know, we have people who perform in their front yard, on a street corner. It doesn't have to, there's no stages necessary. The city is the backdrop. The city becomes the stage. So it's a very natural and very organic process. Naturally, in New York, they do have some larger concerts and where there are sponsors and they have big stages. But that's not what it's about. It's really about letting folks in the neighborhood have a block party and have the kids do a talent show. That's Make Music. So we'd like it to be organic.
Thank you very much. It's a great job. All the blessings. Hope this would continue for many years because it's a great, great, great thing to do for the community and for music and for kids and everything else. And thank you for coming and sharing it with us. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you for having me, and I hope that Glendale will want to do this. You can do it small. Thank you. I have these cards that I wanted to give to everyone.
Next.
At 3B, Larry Arts and Culture events presented by Chuck Wyke, Community Relations Manager.
City staff the first update, I want you to just remain aware that we have new hours at the Glendale Central Library. I guess I can push these buttons. You can see it here, even if they don't see it on TV. Let's go through this. Oh yeah, Hard Day's Night. The famous Beatles mock documentary, A Hard Day's Night, will be playing at the Brand Library on September 18th. That's tomorrow night. It's a free film from the Brand Associates. I'll go back to the Central Library. With our renovation, we've had a number of, I guess, surprises, but also we're on track. And this first phase will go into January of 2016. And so we're all moved around, but our hours right now are 2:30 in the afternoon to 10 at night, Monday through Thursday, closed Friday, and then we're open Saturday and Sunday 9 to 6. So for those older students who want to come by and spend some time in the library, that's a good place. We've moved our staff around, we've moved our collections around. It's quite an undertaking. I'll come back to that at the end, but again, Hard Day's Night, Brand Library. That's tomorrow. We have a book. Liddy Matthew is an author. She's written a book called The Musician's Secret. Now, this one has kind of an interesting aspect. She's a distiller of liquor. So we're going to have free distilled liquor, evidently, at this book talk. Yes, we are. With an oud player and a book talk, of course. That's at Brand Library, middle of October. The Brand Associates will have their dance series starting first week in October and will carry on 4 times in October. This picture here is a tap dance, Sarah Reich's tap music project. They incorporate modern jazz, hip-hop, and tap dance as percussion. Blue 13 Dance on October 10th. That's a Bollywood dance group, so Indian themes, and the publicity recommends that you bring comfortable clothes and shoes because you'll be asked to have fun with the dancers. On October 17th, the Ariane McBean and the Big Show Company will be there. That's, again, a Saturday. They're not just dance, but also art and theater, and they take themes and ideas from the general public and from veterans, and they've incorporated into a theatrical production of dance. Looks interesting. And this one, Pony Box Dance Theater on Halloween. This particular show is a group of 7 men. We're going to do some impressionistic dancing. That's, again, our Brand Associates program. Brand 43, Works on Paper. That's coming up September 26th, 7 p.m. That will be the reception, the opening reception. I hope you can all be there. Kent Twitchell is our curator, and the staff have put together a number of programs involving public art. So our own Ara is going to be there. They're going to start out with Isabel Rojas Williams, who's been very helpful to me personally with some of my research, but she's the executive director of the Mural Conservancy of Los Angeles. She'll be giving a talk on October 1st. And Ara Oshagan will be giving his talk on identity, community, and memory of photographic investigation. So I believe that will pretty much mostly have to do with his work in downtown LA. This picture, I chose this one because it's kind of cool. It's him speaking at the Annenberg photo exhibition there. And then Seeking an Identity, Public Art in Glendale, very important to all of us. Joy Foyer will be there, along with Robert Crouch and Mark Paley, and that's October 22nd. Again, just to wrap it up, the Central Library is really having a lot of work done. One very cool thing we've started is Book a Librarian. So you can go online to our website and ask us a question. Try and give us a good question because we'll spend 30 to 60 minutes with you after we've reviewed your question. But you can do that online. So we're trying everything we can to present as much as many of our resources as we can, even though we're not open. That's it.
Well, thank you very much. It's a lot of work, a lot of participation and collaboration. It makes me very proud of our library and library efforts and all the different organizations that they work with, especially brand associates, that they do a lot of good work for our community, and our commission that also is participating and supporting all of these events. I don't know, it is now that we are with the library, I'm so aware of the achievements of the library, or it's just this collaboration has made it kind of everything to surface. But it really makes me very proud as a Glendalian, and not only as a commissioner, to be part of these events and to witness, and each week to hear, each month to have this special day to hear about all that is being done for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Item 4, oral communications. There's no oral communications.
We don't have any, okay.
Item 5, business agenda. At 5A, action item. At 1, motion recommending the selection of the Arts and Culture Commission to chair to serve on the Artist Selection Committee for the Arts Colony Project.
Well, last meeting, we had people, representatives here, and we talked about it, and we think it would be great that we would have a representation at that, because it is part of what is cities in collaboration, and we are also the component of the art and culture that needs to be part of it. Just wanted to see if there is any questions, comments, or can we carry the motion?
I have a question regarding when does this process start?
We have Mike Fortney from the
please, Mike.
Housing Department.
I'm Mike Fortney, Senior Housing Project Manager. It was in the PowerPoint presentation last week. Not to fault you for not remembering, I want to say it's March of next year is about when the Art Selection Committee would be, but I can forward, I'll review that PowerPoint and make sure that's right. Okay.
So roughly March.
Yeah, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
So
basically, we just nominate a person?
well, basically, I think it was discussed if the chair would be, or if there's any kind of, how would you like to, how should we do it?
Yeah, last month we recommended, or we discussed the chairperson being selected, and so today all we need is a motion.
Then I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion so our chair becomes a member of that committee.
Second.
Okay, thank you. So, roll call.
Commissioners Deaver,
Yes.
Sahakian,
Yes.
Sharikian,
Yes.
Chairperson Derhovanesian.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for including us. That's a great idea. Okay, next.
Item 5B, informational items. At 5B1, update on You Are Here, temporary art in public spaces.
Chair Hovanesian, Commissioners, in September 2013, City Council approved the Arts and Culture Commission's work plan. That included the plan to raise the visibility of arts and culture in Glendale, encourage community participation and neighborhood beautification, and promote visitor attraction. And the Commission developed an inaugural program at that time to install art in public places. A professional services agreement was implemented with Joey Foyer from AFTA Productions, Art from the Ashes, to curate and produce temporary public art installations. We've seen Bridget Beck's A Glendale Picnic at Central Park, and we have Colette Miller's Glendale Wings flying around the city. Those wings will be at the Glendale River Narrow Walk. Glendale Narrows River Walk on October 10th. The Parks Department has an annual bird viewing hike, and Raul Roja, who's one of the photographers for the Glendale News Press, is going to lead that hike this year. So if you're there at 7 a.m. on October 10th, you can take part in that. But we want to make sure you know about an installation right outside these doors in Perkins Plaza. We've had a lot of support from the Glendale Water and Power. They're very happy with this. Public Works Department, This installation is with artists Chris Gantus and William Stranger, and it's titled Water Finds a Way, and we have Joy Foyer here today.
Chuck, could I just mention one thing about the Glendale wings?
Yeah.
People who want to get their wings, they can go to the locations and take a picture with the wings. The wings are made in such a manner that whoever wants to have wings could stand in front of it and become an angel. So that is something I wanted to add. So let's make sure that we will follow where the angel goes. Thank you. Ms. Foyer?
I'll follow the statement about the angels. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really happy to stand in front of you today, just actually a couple hours ago. We completed the labyrinth called Water Finds a Way. And this was a collaborative effort with the AFTA creative team, as well as the artists Chuck mentioned, Chris Gantus and William Stranger, who you all will meet very shortly. The concept behind this was to really one of the things that we're trying to do with the public art program, You Are Here, is to activate public spaces, not just passively put up art, but really create something that people can be a part of. And you've seen that on the Glendale picnic. You've seen it with the wings. As you said, you can go and follow them and take your portrait in front of different areas in Glendale. And to follow suit with that, Water Finds a Way is a walkable labyrinth. And we just thought it was necessary that Glendale had one, because not a lot of cities have one. So we now have a labyrinth. So out there in community land and in here, we should go brag about that. And more importantly, invite people to walk it. It's up for 2 months, so it'll be up till November 18th. Conceptually, you'll see there's a beautiful sign that we created that sort of captures the sentiment of what it is, and you should read that when you're standing on the site, so I'm not going to read it here, but it is built entirely out of organic materials and reclaimed materials that all relate to water, either directly or symbolically, and it's a minimal design intentionally. We used a handful of materials, and if you've ever designed an installation, the more simple it looks, the more complicated it was to become simple, if that makes any sense. Some of you laugh, so I know it makes sense. And essentially, the water, which is our resource that we're really focusing on, is sort of captured in the center. It does change in the evening, thanks to the sun. So there's a solar-powered element in it that becomes the water in the center. There's also a handmade rain stick that is by the sign. So when you enter it, there's 2 different water elements. But no water was harmed in the process of making this labyrinth. And we've captured the entire thing on a time-lapse GoPro, so we'll have a film for you shortly. We had 3 cameras, and then GTV put one into the Municipal Services Building. So we have 4 different perspectives. So hopefully we don't look like a bunch of stooges out there, but nonetheless it will be an interesting process to really show the space with nothing in it, and then, what's becoming in it. On the 27th of, all good labyrinths need a proper introduction into the community. So on Sunday the 27th, we've put together a community gathering day from 12 to 4. We'll have the artists and the creative team behind Water Finds a Way there. We have Glendale Water and Power, who's been an incredible partner and is reaching out to the media on their side. So we've got the art side, the environmental side, the municipal side, really hoping to get a lot of attention for Glendale and really hoping people come and walk the labyrinth. Our good friends, personal friends at Hay Tanks LA will be there to talk about water catchment systems and do rain barrel demonstrations, which after Tuesday, maybe people are thinking about it again. We've invited the Theodore Payne Foundation to be there to talk about drought-tolerant and native plants. Potted, which is a local amazing gardening and ceramic shop, will be there to do a succulent swap. So how that works, it's the first time we're doing it, but bring a cutting from your yard, leave it, and take something you don't have. So, and again, it's a way to hopefully teach people about it's easy to plant succulents, embrace your inner succulents and, turn your yard over. And then we'll have Sips and Bites by sort of a farm-to-table, Croft Alley. Chef Fong Tran will be there and have things. We have a very interesting musician. If you've ever seen Robert Hilton, he's based in Pasadena. He actually creates all his instruments out of reclaimed materials, gourds, fallen trees. So it's very ethereal, and we thought that that would be an appropriate sonic addition, in addition to hopefully some great conversations that happen on that day. So come one, come all to the Labyrinth, and like I said, it's up till the 18th, and we are very open to doing as much there as possible in the time that it's up to make the whole point of it worthwhile. So,
Sorry again, what was the date?
9/27, September 27th. It's a Sunday. It was chosen, it's the harvest full moon, which this year is also an eclipse, so go crazy. Real quick, just to mention too, the Glendale Wings, as Chuck mentioned, along the LA River, they're flying there for a day. Around that, also Walk by Glendale is going to do a destination ride that day. So we'll have the bird walk, LA River Corps coming to do a conversation about the river at 9 a.m. following. We reach out to them, and then Walk by Glendale will be riding over there at some point in the afternoon. And then the remaining time around that will be at Brand Library and Arts Center, and that'll stay till the end of October. So we're going to catch a lot of the programming that was up there today and a lot of the big exhibitions. And then they will fly to the train station on Cerritos there in Glendale. So the Glendale Transportation Center, pardon me. And then we'll figure out the last stop. And lastly, because there's so much art going on, we need a whole meeting just to talk about this. The Yarn Bombers are working away silently off to the sides, crocheting their brains out for the Alex. So re-entry will open on October 14th. There'll be an opening reception, 6 to 8 p.m., and it should be very interesting and entertaining and a very unique installation for Glendale and to salute the Alex's 90th. So with that, I thank you for your time and all your support and putting up with our ideas and actually letting them happen. So thanks so much. Any questions?
Boyer, I want to thank you for living in Glendale and being so active and doing so many wonderful things for us. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Next.
At 5B2, update on installation at Adams Square Mini Park gas station.
Chair Dare Hovhanessian, Commissioners, you have in your packet some information about the Adams Square Mini Park gas station project. In December 2014, the Commission approved the temporary art display in Community Services and Parks Adams Square Mini Park gas station policy, a temporary art display agreement, a call for artists, and a proposal form. The first installation was by a group called Lux, and their work Helioforma was in there in mid-June. The installation that's just coming down today is Jane O'Neill's Becoming a Mountain Cloud. And coming up October 5th through November 20th, we have something called the Foundling Guild by Marcia Perloff. She has a career in costuming and television, but she also finds pieces of things, reclaims them, and turns them into these really interesting looking dolls that you have in your packet. So that's coming up again on October 5th.
I have a question. Is this something indoor or outdoor?
It's indoor. The
gas station?
The gas station itself is an old structure, and so all the artwork is installed inside there.
Okay.
You can't touch it. You can't get inside there. But there's glass all around.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to add to that the Neighborhood Association for Adams Hill has been particularly active around these events and has been a great partner to the city in getting out food trucks and the community and kids and adults. That just goes on for hours. So it's been a real treat to see these arts installations celebrated in this way and to see that the community coming out and getting engaged with it. So I just want to congratulate them for all the work that they've been doing to really to build the community around these events. And thank, of course, the artists that have been participating in it as well.
Well, Commissioner Deaver, I am very grateful that you mentioned that, because I wish all the other different parts of associations and community groups would take this as a way of being involved with whatever happens. They do care for the beautification. They do care for getting people all together. So a lot of the neighbors get together and they get to know each other, and they involve from youngsters to the old and everything. So that is a wonderful way of collaborating within the community, small groups, with the city, with the commission, and it's a fun activity. And the next one that comes up, I hope everybody else from elsewhere also would go and would introduce themselves and join this very special event. Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, and of course, our library, our Connection Library,
Absolutely.
has been very
Absolutely.
active down there too with this.
And also Parks and Rec that helps and cleans the place. You know, it's a collaborative effort between different departments. So our library does its own thing with our staff being involved and the commission being involved, and the Parks and Rec, they keep the place clean and they make it doable and they accommodate what happens in that area. And the community welcomes it and participates and shares that. So it's a wonderful collaborative event. I would like to see this happening in more areas within our city. Thank you. Next. Chair.
At 5B3, update on the 2015 performance series at Brand Library Plaza.
All right, Commissioners, Chair Hovhanessian. The Arts and Culture Commission identified performing and cultural programming microgrants as one of its priorities when it developed the 2013-15 work plan. City Council approved the work plan on September 13th, and the first performances took place in the summer of 2014. So here we are in 2015, and from June through August 2015, we're estimating over 1,500 visitors to Brand Park climbed up the hill to hear these free concerts on the outdoor Brand Library Plaza, supported by the City of Glendale and the Arts and Culture Commission, with funding, of course, from the Urban Art Program, and this year also from the Brand Associates. That's a great group. This group has been together 50 years performing. Three of them. The gentleman with his back to you is one of the guy's sons. There's their front. Mike Gatto from the 43rd District has actually participated in a couple of the events or sent his representative. They presented certificates to performers, to the Brand Associates, and of course to the Commission. Here's an Aztec dance group. And there's Assembly Member Gatto with Ryan Wyman from the Wyman Project. A great group. String quartet plus a jazz rhythm section. Really clever. The performers this year brought we know her. The performers brought an eclectic array of performance experience and techniques and musical instruments. Here's a great shot from way up above, looking down, but look in the back. We have 99 chairs we're able to put out, 99, 100, and we put them all out every time. But as you can see, people are all over the place, and depending on where the performers were situated, they might be behind or to the side of them. But there was usually 30 to 50 people roaming around the park. As soon as the music started, they started coming up the hill from all over the place. These guys were one of the younger groups, very contemporary young musicians. Put on a great show, really used the entire space and entertained the audience. A gamelan group, Balinese, but they're actually located in Tahunga. Local band. There's another shot from the side. You can tell the crowd up above. You can also see it's starting to get dark. Now there's a good shot there were people even into the parking lot on some nights when it was really hot and it was crowded up there. They'd just sit down there and picnic across the street, and the sound would travel really quite well. Saxophone quartet sounded great, no amplification at all. Yeah, there's a little folk group. This group we put in the middle. Well, okay, there's a couple of more visitors. We put this group right in the middle just to see what it would be like. They didn't care. They said, well, we don't really perform, straight ahead. We put us so that basically the audience was to their left and right, and that worked out okay. But again, here you get an idea of the stretch of the seating and then all the standing room. Really a great venue, and you can see now the lights are starting to come on. It's getting a little darker, and the whole atmosphere changes. From this perspective, it changes quite a bit because there's more lights up there. From the other perspective, it's just a little dimmer, but it's intimate. And again, we had great crowds, and they really enjoyed themselves at these performances. So. I can tell you that the audience members I talked to are all looking forward to next year's performances.
Well, Chuck, being personally involved with this project and coming to some of those events, it's a fantastic event. As you said, people welcomed it, and they were asking me on the way, are we going to have this next year and all that. It seems community really wants this. And some people, they brought their own chairs, and they sit on the porch as well by the library. Some are on the grass. They come with their own chairs prepared for this special event. So that's another wonderful event. And again, on behalf of the library and the commission, I would like to thank Mr. Chuck White because he went there every session. He emceed the whole event. He supervised from the beginning, from the chairs to be there till the end and saying goodbye and welcoming the audience personally. He has been so wonderful and so welcoming. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for being there and in a way that it seems like it's his own home. It is his own effort. Thank you and thank you and thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just doing my job according to Director Cleary's wishes here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Quick question. I was just curious if we had any idea of how many of the audience members were kind of consistently attending as a series, or how many were individually.
I asked. We didn't have any cards to fill out or anything like that. But every few performances, I would ask. And the very last one, it was about 50-50. Half the crowd had been there for 3, 4, 5 performances. The rest of them had never been there before for one of these. And yet I know the people who showed up at 5 o'clock. Now this starts at 7. People were coming in at 5 o'clock and catching their favorite seats. They live in the neighborhood. I'd see the same people that hike in the park. Like those dogs were there almost every week with their.
Did they enjoy it?
They seemed to have a good time. Yes, but there was some consistency, and there was also a number of new people that came. It was fun to see.
Sure.
Go ahead. You got the first there.
Oh, I just wondering, as these continue to expand, as we've sort of seen, is there thought yet being given to how to accommodate that? Are we thinking about? I know you tried different orientations. I'm just kind of curious if there's been a thought process on that yet.
One thing that we're moving forward with, and not with the Urban Art Fund, but through the library's budget, is getting a stage that's higher so that the people in the audience have a better view. And also so we can have other events at other venues at the library. And as you know, we want to expand the program to other locations. So that's something we'll talk through when we get closer to the time of doing the summer performances.
I would like to add.
Sure.
I wrote down a few points, and this is something maybe just recommendations or even compliments, because down the line, I agree with everybody that we need to expand, and we already have done this program for the last 2 years, and it's a successful one. Yes, yeah.
Well, this was an informational item. If you do have suggestions, we can bring it back for discussion, on another item. I'm sorry, Commissioner. Yeah.
I just want to compliment you.
Yeah.
Good job, and thank you very much.
So we can have this as an item for the next meeting, so you could have
You're
the
right.
recommendations. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us in line. There are times we get too excited, and we need that special thing in there. Thank you. Okay, next.
At 5B4, update on cowboy art, John Wayne and Gene Autry stand-up artwork in parks open spaces.
All right, well, I saved this till last. Chairperson Derhovenessian and Commissioners, in 2012, 3 years ago, a life-size plywood cutout of Clint Eastwood, literally from the movie Good, Bad, and the Ugly, appeared in the San Rafael Hills of Glendale. It was done by artist Justin Stadell. Similar cutouts of John Wayne and Gene Autry also appeared on nearby hills, and you could see them mostly from the 2 freeway if you weren't actually up there hiking. And they were, according to him, designed to greet hikers on Glendale's trails as well as commuters on the freeway. The city was unaware of these projects until they appeared in the hills. The artwork remained on the hillsides until some vandalism forced the removal of the pieces, and then Mr. Stadell discussed donating new artwork, and at the July 18th, 2013 meeting, the Arts and Culture Commission adopted a motion recommending that the City Council accept the proposed donations and approve a location for this artwork. City Council then moved on September 10th, 2013 to accept the donations. There were, however, some issues relating to copyright, and they were brought up by the city attorney. Now, the city, at the request of City Council, following the September meeting, attempted to obtain licensing agreements but was unsuccessful. Finally, based on correspondence between Mr. Stadell and John Wayne Enterprises and Gretchen Wayne from Bat Jack Productions, that's the film company, and correspondence between Justin Stadell and the Autry Qualified Interest Trust and the Autry Foundation, these required permissions were obtained to use specific images of John Wayne and Gene Autry. Staff is now working with the artist and Community Services and Parks to determine locations for this artwork. The one caveat is that while the artwork has been approved by the owners of the artwork, the city wants the artwork there. We're going to find spots for it up in the hills. The amount of publicity that we can generate from this has some limitations. The city is not sure if I'm going to say this right. Let's just say that we can promote it during an event for the installation, a newsworthy event only.
Thank you for all the information and update. Any questions, comments? None? Next item.
Item 6, Commission staff comments.
No comments?
Okay.
Just quickly, I'm the representative to the Museum of Neon Art and make it to some of their meetings, and so I just want to let you all know that my understanding is that they're moving towards an opening later this fall. I don't think anything's been specifically announced, but I did get into the space a couple months ago, and it's looking really great. I'm sure they've even made some strides since that I've been in there, but it's really exciting and looking forward to that. And just reminding everybody in the public that they're always looking still to build their membership and to have people involved and with their capital campaign and such. So those of you who are not familiar yet with the Museum of Neon Art, which is coming, I encourage you to go to their website website and become involved and show some Glendalian support to this very awesome museum. There's going to be classes and exhibits and a gift store, and if you haven't even had a chance to look at the paseo that leading into Brand and with the Americana across in the library, it's really going to be just a gorgeous outdoor space and indoor space, and just really looking forward to it.
A nice comment made. Community always should be part of, I think, with whatever we do here, because that's what makes a city great. So that's a great idea. Any other issues? None? It seems today we all need to kind of adjourn earlier because there isn't anything else discussed. Since there is nothing else, I would like to, there is something?
Written communications.
Oh, sorry. We have none? Sorry.
Okay.
I'm rushing. Now is the time? Okay, so we'll adjourn the meeting.